Hello and welcome to today's virtual Card A Cuppa. I'm Fiona Whitten and I live in Wokingham in Berkshire here in the UK, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so just bear with me for a second whilst I double check that this is actually going out live. It should be, but you never know with these things. Okay then, it looks like I am, which is great. So this is the kit that went to the actual in-person Card A Cuppa event this morning. For those of you who don't know about Card A Cuppa, it's an event that I hold twice a month on the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of each month. And we meet at the Home Grange Craft Village at the Grange Chocolate Cafe. So there are two events a month, and then in the mornings we meet at 10, and then in the afternoon I do a virtual Card A Cuppa for those who weren't able to make it and want to catch up, especially when they have kits. But I will walk you through the 3 samples I took this morning, and then I'll actually make a 4th card live here on Facebook. This will get uploaded to YouTube, but it's going to be very much a warts and all. Sometimes I just don't. Well, I'm not very good at editing, to be blunt. I'm pretty useless at editing. I just don't have the patience, so I'm afraid it goes up on YouTube, warts and all. So this, as I said, was the kit that I took this morning, and it consists of an envelope, a Petunia Pop base card, so that's just half a sheet of A4, a piece of basic white, which will be to go on the inside of the card. There is also a piece of the Unbounded Beauty Paper. So this was the side that we used, but people could, if they wanted to, use the reverse. Actually, I quite like that. It's quite a nice contrast. And then there was a strip of the paper again, different colour. So this is the Unbound Beauty Paper. So there's all sorts. And it's designed to go with Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, Petunia Pop, Pretty and Pink, so all sorts of things. A lot of the 2024 to 2026 in colours. So it coordinates with that, plus a couple of extra. So those are like the main designs, and then the reverse side have other designs. So we have washes, and then we have these floral sort of leafy ones as well. So that's the paper that I used. There was or is a punched tag, so I used the Heartfelt Hexagon Punch for that, which can be found in the annual catalogue. And then there's this rather glittery, rather pretty Berry Burst die cut. So the die cut is actually from the Flowers of Beauty dies. So it's this particular one here. And the Glimmer paper that I use, for some reason I completely blanked on the fact that I do actually have in colour Glimmer paper. But what I actually did use was a set that is actually part of the online exclusives. So it's a set of 3. You get 1 sheet of each in Berry Burst, Old Olive and White. And that cost £5.50 for the 3 sheets. So you get those 3 colours. So I used the Berry Burst for that piece. So that's what that actually is. And then I took with me 2 stamp sets. One was the Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set, which is the stamp set that was originally designed to go with the punch. But the Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set is now an online exclusive. It's not in the annual catalogue, but the punch is still in the annual catalogue. Don't ask me why, but there you go. So I took this with me because I wanted to use these rather sweet designs that go around the edge of the label, and then of course there are also sentiments that will fit in exactly. And then the other stamp set I took with me was the Unbounded Love stamp set. So this is actually one of the stamp sets that you can find in the Unbounded Beauty Suite in the annual catalogue. So you'll find that on page, I think it's 54 and 55. But this has other sentiments that people like to use. Happy birthday. So a lot of people use the happy birthday on the outside and then use the may all your wishes come true on the inside. And then there's also other bits and pieces that can be used, best of luck and love and all sorts of things. So I took those two stamp sets with me along with the punch. The problem with doing Card A Cuppa and having people purchase the kits to make at home because they're not local is that you can't stamp. You can't stamp and send a stamped image. So I always have to just give them the plain die cut or the punched thing. So everybody's kit had that in, but I also took some scrap basic white with me just in case there was a boo-boo. Because let's face it, we all make boo-boos. And it's a lot easier, to be honest, if you stamp and then punch. Which is what I'm probably going to do this afternoon. I'll see. There are tricks and ways and means of getting around it, and I'll show you those too. So that was the kit, and I briefly talked through everything that was used. So this was the first card that was a sample. And this is, as always, my first card is I throw everything at it. So basically everything in the kit got used as it is. So this is the whole of that die cut, the Berry Burst die cut. So it's a very simple card in that the larger piece of paper is glued, then the strip, then the die cut. And then lastly, I stamped in the one colour. So this is Petunia Pop. Stamped the actual, oh, excuse me. Sorry about this. Hello? Sorry, that was an Amazon delivery, but hey ho. Anyway, so as I was saying, yes, so I stamped the surround and then the sentiment. I managed to get that square, and to do that, I've always found that if you're going to stamp something and it's on something that's already been die cut or punched, if you put that piece, that label or whatever, with a dark background, you can then actually see where the edges are. So when you come to stamp, you are better able to see where that particular stamp is going. So that's my trick if you do have this and you actually have to stamp onto something that's already been pre-cut. So that was the first card. The second card went something slightly different, and I turned the Heartfelt Hexagon the other way round. And in fact, I turned the paper around and I cut up the die cut. So although this die cut is one piece, there's no reason why you can't cut it so that you have different pieces. So you'll find that these two leaves here are actually this piece and this piece. So I cut it here and down there and put them up there. This piece here is mostly this piece, and I think that was it actually. But I've hidden these two bits, and I actually used, I think, maybe I did use that bit. So I didn't actually use a lot of this down here. And then the other thing is, oh, and then yes, so I must have actually cut one of these bits off. So I must have used that piece there, here. So yeah, there's no reason why you can't die cut it. As you can see here, I didn't make a very good job of stamping the surround, but hey, I actually wasn't aware too well about that. So obviously these have two sides, so you could just turn it over and start again. So I stamped the surround, the sentiment, and then the little flower that's also in the Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set. This is a flower that's in the Heartfelt Hexagon stamp set, so I stamped that inside, and I used my Stampin' Right markers to colour the little flowery bit here. And I put that on the envelope too. So that was that envelope. What was the other envelope? I'm trying to think now. Oh, I just stamped some of the little flowers. So I used Petunia Pop and Berry Burst. So Petunia Pop, and then the darker there is the Berry Burst. So that was that one. And on the inside, the third card, I decided I was going to switch it around a bit. And I made a landscape rather than a portrait. So again, the paper is kind of directional, but there's enough of these fronds and things and the leaves that are kind of going all sorts of ways that you can actually turn it around, so it's not so noticeable. So I did that, added the strip, kept the die cut in one piece. But what I then did was I took the Heartfelt Hexagon, and I stamped the sentiment across the middle from point to point. I mean, you could do it if you're very good at having things a bit skewy, but so I stamped across point to point, and then I simply took my trimmer to it and cut top and bottom off. So just because it starts at that shape, you don't have to use it in that shape. You can do things and move things around and cut things off. I did similar inside to the one previous card. Did make a bit of a boo-boo on this one. So I stamped, and there was a little mark, or was it on the envelope? No, I think it was on the envelope. So in a different green, I put some grass on just to hide the boo-boo, and then did it to match on the inside. Of course, I didn't put the boo-boo on. There's no point in doing that. So that was the third card. So the $64 million question now is, what am I going to do for the fourth card? And I do actually quite like the idea of turning that paper the other way round, like that. So this is, now I have to remember which one it is. This is Summer Splash. So it's one of the greens, which is one of the new in colours. So the two greens in colours are Summer Splash and Shy Shamrock. I don't think there's anything shy about that, quite frankly, but hey. So this background here is Summer Splash. So I'm going to leave that one out. This is Berry Burst and Petunia Pop. So I'm going to get those two out. So that's those. We're going to use those, I think. So first off, I'm going to do my surround. Now, as I said, if this doesn't work, then I will revert to the stamping and punching. But I will attempt, she says, to actually stamp directly onto here. And I think I just want this simple. So there's two surrounds. There's one which is just simple dots, and there which is like that one. So this is just the simple dots. And then there's this one which is a bit fancier, which has dots, and then it also has two lines that follow the shape as well. So it's up to you which one. You know what? I might just go. Or I might go that one again. What the heck? So it's not that one. It's this one. And I'm going to just put that down and grab the block. So it's a block. So when I stamp this, as I said, you can actually see whether or not it's central. Obviously, the trick really is to stand above it. But if I did that, then I would be hitting my phone, which I'm using as a camera, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do it a bit of guesswork. But you know what? I can actually cheat, because if I look at my screen on my laptop, I can see where it is. So I'm actually going to do that. Cheats way, I know, but hey, needs must at times. And I'm going to do that, as I said, in the Summer Splash, so that it ties back into the green that's actually being used for that paper for the background. So let's try this. So I have to wait for this to catch up. I think that's pretty good. So I'm just going to go for it. Well, that's not bad going. Quite happy with that. So these are photopolymer stamps, which is great because you can see through them so long as you're sort of standing above them or have them closer to you that you can see through. But because they're photopolymer, you sometimes need something a bit soft underneath your where you're stamping. Hence, I have these foam sheets that I use. So anyway, so that's good. That worked. So I've got this. I've got to go find that base card there. That's here. So I've got that and that. So that does tie in quite nicely. It brings in the paper into the actual card. I've got my this piece. I'm going to, which I think, I don't know, do I want to cut it up? I could cheat and cut it up, and if I don't like it, I can just use one of the spare kits. I'm just going to see. Yes, okay, so this is very burst. So I'm going to tie the sentiment in with that. And let's see, so I have, so as part of the Heartfelt Hexagon, we've got the sending you lots of love and hugs. We could turn it around and do I hope your day is filled with joy. Mr. and Mrs. is, nah, I don't think I want that. We've got a for you, let's eat cake. So either I'm going to do the sending you lots of love and hugs, or I'm going to do one of these. Now I've done happy birthday. My heart goes out to you. No. May all your wishes come true. It's just not a huge... These are shown at 80%, so I can't just simply put them on top to see if it fits. But because they are photopolymer, you can just simply sort of do this and see. So may all your wishes come true. I think that's quite nice. So I'm going to use that and put that on the front. Or you could do Celebrate. And then inside do, maybe we'll do Celebrate on the front, and then we'll do May All Your Wishes Come True on the inside. So because this is photopolymer, it's usually best just to place it down and then pick it up with your acrylic block. Because sometimes if you try putting it direct on there, you kind of pull it slightly, you can pull it slightly out of shape, which is not necessarily a good thing. So that Celebrate would actually fit quite neatly that way, but I'm not sure if that would work actually, to do it that way. So maybe that's what I'll do. So I want my Berry Burst. I've got that ink. I'm going to ink this up. So just lightly tap it and then stamp. If I have this straight, hopefully then it means I get this, the C and the E kind of tucked into those bits that go outwards. That's that. Okay. So we have that. So that will tie in, it will dry slightly lighter. Now we kind of need something, I kind of feel like I need something here. So we could put flower or this little thingamajig. Don't know what it's called. I guess it's just like a little accent. I'm not sure I want a heart. Now if I did this one, it's quite long. So as you can see, it's sort of longer than what I would necessarily want, but there is ways and means around that. So if you've got some old washi tape, and you can use that to block off the bits that you don't want. So I want the flower and some of the leaves. I just need to kind of eyeball it as to where I want it to go. So it needs it to go about there. So if I put that piece on there, it's a bit too long, but that's okay because I need it to also go across that a bit there. So that piece will stamp and be within. It might need to go up a bit actually. Let's go up a bit. The only thing you need to remember when you're doing this is that once you've put your ink on, you do need to remember to remove the washi tape. Otherwise, that washi tape, which will have ink on it, will then transfer that ink onto here in a great big splodge, which is not necessarily a good idea. Okay, so what colour am I going to do this? I think if I did it in Summer Splash, that would be a bit too green with the green surrounding. Now I could do it in the Shy Shamrock, which is, as I said, it's a bit darker. That's just, I'm just going to stamp it on here at the moment and just see what it looks like. As I said, this is why you need to remember to remove. I think that would look okay. So I've got that inked up and I need to remove carefully that piece. So you see now my block is clear of all that ink that I don't want. I'm going to huff on this because I've been talking too much and it's probably gone a little bit dry. So I'm going to try and line this up so it stamps like that. Looks like it's coming out the edge. and I want to colour that image. We can colour the inside of that flower. Now, I did have my Stampin' Right markers, and I thought I brought them here, but I don't think I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Wink of Stella, a clear Wink of Stella, and an ink pad. Let's see, what colour should I do? I could do some. So this is the Petunia Pop. I don't think it's been used this way before. No, it hasn't. So if you have your ink pad shut, like so, if you use your palms of your hand and clasp the ink pad quite firmly and then push like the top and bottom together, but you need to make sure your hand's at the top, not the bottom. I was going to say you'll then find that some ink transfers, but it hasn't really done that. You have to be quite firm with it. There we go. Now I don't need all of that. I just need a little bit. So you can just pick up a little bit on the brush and then colour the flowers, and then you'll find that you will have the little flower will have some sparkle on it. So it's kind of like using a watercolour brush, but instead of using water, you're using the actual Wink of Stella medium to, like so. Maybe that needs to go up there a bit. And then to clean it, you just simply wipe it on some scratch paper, or like I do on my grid paper. And that's that. So I'm happy with that. And then the last couple of things I need to do, oops, make sure I don't have anything on my fingers, on my thumb, is stamp the envelope. But this time I don't need to worry about the image, so I could actually use the whole of the image. So I'm not too worried about having the using the washi tape. I'm just going to stamp it so that, like that, so I don't have the whole length of the image, because I think that might be a little bit. I'm going to put the whole length of the image on here, like so. And again, I'm going to colour the petals using my Wink of Stella and the ink pad. Seeing as I've got all that ink on the lid now, I may as well make use of it. So as I said, you just need to pick up a little bit of the ink. Don't need to be too mad. Obviously, the more you go over, the darker those petals will be. Let's just do these ones quickly. That's that. And I said I was going to stamp a sentiment on the inside. I don't often do that. So I've got celebrate, and then may all your wishes come true. I'm going to put that on the front, on the inside, sorry. So I put that down. Doesn't at this stage matter whether it's upside down or not, except I need a different block. There we go. Make sure it's big enough for the. And then I'm going to, so we did Petunia Pop. What did we do? Petunia Pop? Must have done on the inside. Or was it? Oh, you know what? I think it was Berry Burst. So let's do Berry Burst again. have this straight on my grid paper so I can see and then attempt to get this straight. I'm cheating again using my, that looks awful. Can't be right. You know what, I'm going for it. Hopefully it's straight enough. That's better. So that's going to go on the inside of the card. Let's do that now. I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue. I'm going to put a bead of that around. So 5th of June today, and there was a lot of exciting things going on today, apart from Card A Cuppa, which was good fun this morning. So this month, Stampin' Up have an extra 10% off stamp and die bundles. So they already have 10% off, but there is an additional 10% now being offered, as said, on stamp and die bundles until the end of the month. And also they are doing 10% off the Stampin' Cut emboss machines. So if you're into die cutting and embossing, then these machines are great. And there's 10% off both the standard size and the mini, and also the blue mini as well. So that is really good news. So that's started today. What else have we got going on? Oh, there was 2 new kits in the kits collection. And one of them looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's already in my order to arrive. So I will be sharing that when it does arrive. Let's see. I'm going to put this here. I normally put them a bit lower, but because I've turned this around, I don't want it too close to the bottom here. No, you know what? I think I could cut this. So I'm going to fix this on with some dimensionals. Oh, I do have them. Yes, hooray! I can see them. I'm just going to put a couple each side and then sort of down the bottom and the top, but not right up, because I want to be able to tuck this in. So I'm going to centre it, or what looks close to be centred, like that, and then I'm going to take my paper snips. There we are. And I need to take that off because it's nice, but something Stampin' Up sent me a while back. So I'm going to cut this and then shape this bit here so that it looks like it's a whole leaf. Like that. So there's one leaf, which can go up here. The other leaf is here, like so. Like that. Now, I'm going to cut this one across here. So I've got this piece here that can tuck in here, like that. And I've got this bit here that I can use if I want to, just to give a little bit of extra, something extra here. And then it's a question really then of just playing around till you're happy with the arrangement and then using some glue dots to fix them in place. I mean, I could even use that bit. Just do a bit of a funny shaping of this. Depends on what bits, fronds you want to have out. Sometimes it's good just to have something like that in the background. Just adds a little bit of interest. Dear me. My hand and eye coordination seems to be pretty rubbish today, but hey. So then you've got a little frond showing like that. Which, yeah, I like that. And I've got an extra bit left over, but I'll see what I'll do with that. So I grab that bit and grab some glue dots. So I've got some glue dots. Just have to find them on here. Nope, not there yet. My goodness, there's one. So I find it easier just to take my whatever I want to stick to the glue dot. So put it on and then just peel it off so that you've got the glue dot stuck to the back, rather than picking it off and trying to put it into the spot that you actually want. So that's going to go up there like that. Push that down and that will hold it. Now this bit was on the bottom. That's the other thing, is remembering what order they need to go in. So that's going to go in here. Like so. This one. Sometimes the glue dots look a bit too big for what you're wanting, but hey, I just need to make sure that they're sticking on there. Just peel it back a bit. There we go. And then the third and final bit. Is to go there. I just realised my head is hitting the phone, but hey. And then you can curl these if you want to. Obviously they will get squished when you're putting them in the envelope. So let's see. Am I happy with that? I think I am. I like that. So that is the finished card. So we've got some stamping, we've got some colouring with Wink Stella, and we've got some lovely glitter paper die cut that I've cut up. And then we've got sentiment in the inside and on the front. So that is today's Card A Cuppa, or virtual Card A Cuppa I should say. And, oh, I did get, there's the envelope, which I did exactly the same thing on as the inside of the card. So that's today's card. And then these are the 3 from this morning's Card A Cuppa. So I think you agree they all look slightly different, especially because the paper's different on this one. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these. Next week it's a stamping and creating day. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm hoping that I might have that kit by then. If not, then I will share it another time. But I will have something to share next week. So have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.